here we are again, one final time at Pickwick Landing State Park. I'm breaking camp early tomorrow morning and headed toward Petite Jean State Park in Arkansas. And it's about a six and a half hour drive the way I drive, probably 6.5 hours from here. So I'm going to try to get as early a start as I can, and by that probably I'd like to be on the road by 8:30, 9 o'clock. I really don't have that much to do except bring the slides in and get the trailer hitched, which is still, unhooked and all that kind of stuff. Still takes me about 45 minutes or so. Anyway, some final thoughts about Pickwick Landing State Park and my stay here. It's been a phenomenal area. I'm really surprised by the amount of things that there are to do here. Specifically Civil War related, and I did get to spend some time at the Tennessee, I think it's called the Tennessee River Museum. My thoughts as far as the area are concerned: if you are a history person, if you enjoy American history, specifically if you enjoy the Civil War, the battlefield at Shiloh is probably one of the most touching things I've ever seen. I've been to Gettysburg, being a native Pennsylvanian, a long time ago, but my recollection, of course I was smaller then, was that the Gettysburg battlefield is massive. It's huge. And while this is fairly large, I think it's probably I'm just guessing, probably about a quarter of the size of what Gettysburg is. And as a result, you get a little more intimate feeling. You get to see more of the stuff. And the film, as I mentioned before, that they showed was just was vital. So I got down into Corinth, Mississippi, to the contraband camp. It was not at all what I expected. I guess my anticipation was more like a battlefield type thing, and this was not like that at all. There was nothing but a beautiful walk, winding walk, paved through the area that once housed the camp, and there are some gorgeous bronzes that picture some of the daily life and routine, and I can't tell you how beautiful that was. So it was very touching to understand what happened there, and understand its significance to the people who happened to make it there, and then their contribution, these escaped slaves and plantation workers and farmers and whatnot, who were once property. As soon as they could make it behind the Union lines, they had in essence made the first step toward their freedom, and ultimately, because the Union prevailed, were to gain their emancipation. The question, I guess I have two of them. Would I come back to this area? Would I recommend that you, if you're out and you have a limited amount of time and places to go and things to see? Absolutely, I would recommend this area. It's just rife with Civil War history. Even for me, and I'm not certainly a Civil War fan or particularly knowledgeable about it. In fact, I'm probably fairly unknowledgeable about most of it. Bottom line is it was worth it, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Would I come back to Pickwick's Landing State Park? The answer there is a resounding probably not. There are some parks around, RV parks in particular. They have the normal problems that an RV park has. If you take a look around here, at least I'm in a wooded setting. Although this has that charm to it, it's got really two or three things that are problems for me that would cause me not to come back, and that's basically, if you look behind you, you see the rig is fairly large. There's not one level spot available as far as parking is concerned. They go from mildly annoying to completely unusable, and many of them are also fairly small. So, and with the trees and whatnot, with the slides and the inability to get your awnings out, and just, stuff that Can you live without it? The answer is sure you can. But you have it, and once you get used to it, you kind of like to use the equipment you have. So the bottom line is there was just too many trees, too narrow. I had trouble with the stairs. I basically got to jump off the last stair, and I've got a little bit of a hip problem, so that was always a challenge to me. So this particular park, probably not. However, having said that, I've got to tell you, inside every cloud there's a silver lining. I've never been to cleaner showers and newer bathhouses ever, anywhere, so it's got that going for it. But weighing all things being equal, I probably would go stay someplace else if I were you. And around here, I don't know that there's too many state park opportunities or opportunities like Army Corps of Engineers or something that would be relatively inexpensive. The other thing that who knew? There is a gigantic, and I wish I could remember the name of it, it's Package Corporation of America. I think that's right. If you can imagine 18-wheel traffic as bad as you've ever seen it, and then multiply that by 100, that's what you've got out here in about a quarter of a mile. The reason that's important is they are loaded with these scrawny-looking pine tree, fir trees, whatever they are. Of course, they've got no branches. It's just like it could be a telephone pole, except at the top, it's way too skinny. And truckload after truckload after truckload after truckload. And I could go on, but I think you got the point. What they're doing is they're delivering this wood. I guess they grow it, delivering the wood to PCA, which it turns out, Packaging Corporation, they manufacture paper, corrugated, who knows what all it is, but it's a paper product for sure. And it stinks. And, it hasn't, because it's so far away, hadn't really been an issue. I smelled it a little bit on my way in last Tuesday. As I was crossing Pickwick Dam, you go right over the breast of the dam. And being, living in the seacoast area of New Hampshire, every now and again you get that decaying sulfur-type smell, sometimes caused by fish. Sometimes it's just the gases given off by some of the algae in the water. And if you get an inversion of the wind or whatever, it can smell bad. It smells like rotten eggs. Anyway, hadn't noticed it until a couple of nights ago. It must have been a shift in the wind or something. Now, I don't have much of a sense of smell, but I was awakened at about, 5:30 or so. Anyway, I thought for sure Jillian, who does occasionally have bowel problems, I thought for sure that poor thing was sick, and she must have soiled the entire trailer because it just was awful. So I jumped out of bed and turned the lights on and stuff, and it was completely clean. I'm thinking, what's going on? Then it dawned on me. Apparently there's been a shift in the wind, and when that happens, be prepared, because you're going to think your black tank is backed up or overflowing, or somebody is tremendously ill and just defecated all over the living room of your trailers. So that's another reason why maybe this just isn't the best location for camping. I'm going to have my final campfire. I've got some wood here I want to use, so I'm going to get that going. Hope you enjoyed some of the videos that I've posted thus far and that you continue to watch. I certainly appreciate any of the comments you want to make. I'll get to those right away. It makes it more interactive, rather than me just talking to you vicariously. When you guys get back to me, then with questions or comments, I certainly appreciate that, and we'll be getting back to you. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's usually a little bell icon up there that you can hit that will notify you when I post a new video. And I sure do appreciate your help in that regard too. Some of you have said that you have trouble subscribing and making comments, and I will say this: if you're watching me on a mobile device like a cell phone, I don't actually know how to do it myself. So I would say if you've got a computer, if you have a laptop, watch the videos that way, and that way then, as I said, you can be a little more active with me via your comments and whatnot. So rather than making this any longer and rambling on, again, I appreciate it. I will see you in Arkansas, good Lord willing. Hope that I have a good trip over, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.